Hello students, once again welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to read a new lesson from your course book, English textbook, chapter number 5. Let's find out the title of the lesson. Here it is, Peter's Ghost Dog. But before we read the lesson, let's have a ponder. You can see some pictures here. Name these famous pets. You have to find out. These are very famous cartoon characters. Pets you have to give named. Should try this. Did you know, apart from dogs, cats, fish, and guinea pigs, people also keep scorpions, spiders, and even cockroaches as pets? Do you think it is right to keep pets in our homes when they should be in their natural surroundings? Now let's read the story. Once upon a time, there was a boy called Peter. Peter went to preschool, but when he wasn't at school, he sometimes felt lonely. All his friends had brothers or sisters, or dogs, or rabbits. But Peter only had his toys and books. Peter's birthday was getting near, so he asked his daddy if he could have a dog. Said Daddy, we live in a flat and Mommy and I have to work. Soon you will go to primary school, so there won't be anyone to take the doggy out. It really won't be fair to the dog. Daddy noticed Peter's sad look, so he added, soon we all work hard and make money. We can move to a big house by the seaside. Then you can have 2 dogs if you like. Peter went to his room. He cried and cried. He didn't want 2 dogs sometime in the future. He just wanted 1 dog now. Just then, Peter noticed a little brown dog sitting on the corner of his bed. It was looking at him lovingly. Perhaps the dog had come in through the open window. Peter picked it up and hugged it. The dog snuggled into Peter's shirt. Here we have some words. Primary school, where children between 5 and 11 years old study. Snuggle, move into a warm and comfortable position. What do you think would happen next? You can see a picture here. There is a doggy. The boy is looking at the dog. Peter made a bed for the dog out of a cardboard box and kept it under his own bed. He decided to call the dog Sniffy because it always had a wet nose. He would save some of his own dinner to give to Sniffy. Next day, Peter wrapped Sniffy in his coat and took it to show his friends in the park around the corner. His friends just laughed. Peter realized they couldn't even see Sniffy. He didn't care. He knew Sniffy was real, but he also knew Sniffy was a very special doggy. Over the coming weeks and months, Peter and Sniffy spent hours and hours playing together in his room and in the park, but still no one else could see Sniffy. Peter's mom became worried because he was spending so much time on his own. She even took him to see a doctor who asked if anything was wrong. Of course, Peter couldn't tell him about Sniffy. The doctor just told Mummy not to worry. Why do you think nobody was able to see Sniffy? The next year, Peter changed from preschool to primary school. Now he went to school every day. He started to make new friends and was busy with homework and the school clubs he had joined. He began to spend less and less time with Sniffy until the only time he saw him was when they cuddled together in bed at night. One night when Peter went to his room, Sniffy wasn't there. Peter called for him, but he didn't come. Peter started to cry. He felt sorry that he had not spent more time with his best friend. All of a sudden, Sniffy was beside him on the bed. "Sniffy," said Peter, "where have you been? I'm sorry I haven't had much time to play with you. I have been so busy at school." Peter was shocked when Sniffy started to talk. "It's fine," said the little brown dog. "I was your friend when you needed me, but now you have started to make other friends, and that's good. Now I have to go to help other little boys and girls who feel lonely. But don't worry, I will never be far away. You only have to think about me and I will be beside you, and you can stroke me." Peter felt sad, but he remembered how he had felt when he first met Sniffy. He wanted Sniffy to help all the other children who felt the same. Now he had his new school and friends and plenty to keep him busy, but he was happy to know that Sniffy was only a thought away. There's a word in the bracket, stroke, meaning touch lovingly. The story is written by Johnny Abracad. Let's check this out. Prepared. Sniffy leaves Peter because he wants to help other little children who do not have pets. Walk in groups enact a play where Sniffy meets another child, and what happens thereafter you can show that the new child is not as loving and caring as Peter, but gradually changes. He even gives Sniffy a new name and does not let him go in the end. Let's check this out. Practice comprehension. Fill in the blanks. You have to try this after reading the lesson again. Answer these questions with reference to the context. Let me read out the questions so that you can think about it when reading the story again. Peter went to his room. He cried and cried. Why was Peter crying? What had Peter's father told him? What happened next? 2. I'm sorry I haven't had much time to play with you. I have been so busy at school. Who said this and to whom? Why was the speaker busy? What is the listener's reply? There are some more questions here. Exercise C. Answer these questions. 1. Why was Peter lonely? What did his daddy say to him when he asked for a dog? What did Peter find in his room when he was crying? What did Peter's friend do when he told them about Sniffy? Was Peter happy playing with Sniffy? Why did Peter's mother take him to the doctor? What happened when Peter started going to the primary school? What did Sniffy tell Peter when Peter said sorry for not playing with him? Next is perfect vocabulary. You can see in the box written in small letter, jumbled letters, antonyms. Exercise A. Unscramble the letters to guess the word. The first letter is highlighted. You have to rearrange it. You should try this. Next is match the words with their antonyms. Column A, column B. Next we have grammar. In the box in small letters we can see adjectives, degrees, order. Fill in the blanks with appropriate adjectives. He was as dash as a fox. You have to fill in the blanks with appropriate adjectives. Let's check it out. Degrees of adjectives. Degrees of adjectives can be classified into three groups: positive degree, comparative degree, superlative degree. Positive degree, no comparisons. For example, Ravi is tall. Comparative degree, comparison between two nouns or pronouns. For example, Aman is taller than Ravi. Superlative degree, more than two nouns or pronouns. For example, Sania is the tallest of them all. Positive, comparative, and superlative. These are the three types of degrees of adjectives. Adjectives usually form their comparative and superlative degrees by the addition of er, r, and est, st to the positive degree. For example, bright, brighter, brightest, brave, braver, bravest. In words ending in y, we delete the final y and add ier and iest. For example, costly, costlier, costliest. In some words, we place more and most before the positive form. For example, active, more active, most active, splendid, more splendid, most splendid. Some adjectives do not follow any of the rules explained earlier. For example, bad, worse, worst, good, better, best, little, less, least, much, more, most. Fill in the blanks with the correct degrees of the adjectives given in the bracket. You have been provided hint in the form of words. You have to only change its degree. For example, Birbal was the dash of all at Akbar's court. You have the word wise in the bracket as a clue or hint. Here you can change the word wise into superlative. Birbal was the wisest of all at Akbar's court. You have to try this. Order of adjectives. Read these sentences. She bought a huge round switch match. Watch. Let me read it again. She bought a huge round switch watch. She had a small round red wooden box. Sometimes we may use more than one adjective to describe something. In that case, we must put the adjectives in order. The adjectives in a sentence appeared in this order: beautiful, opinioned, small, size, new, edge, round, shaped, red, color, Chinese, origin, wooden, material. Rewrite these sentences with adjectives in the correct order. My mother bought rare Chinese old metal artifacts from the fair. Let's try to solve this. My mother bought My mother bought a rare old metal Chinese artifacts from the fair. You have to try this. The remaining. Next, we have the performed. Writing. Picture composition. Okay, look at the picture and write a paragraph based on it. This is a nice picture. You can see a boy. You can see the same boy in three different places. And the animals playing with the boy. You have to watch it carefully to look at the picture and write down in your own words a paragraph based on it. Next, we have listening. And last but not least, speaking. A dog is often called man's best friend. Do you agree with this? Most people will surely agree with this. Okay, because dog is considered the man's best friend. Dog lovers will say that dog is the best friend of man. Share your views with the class. This can also be a peer activity where your partner presents views opposite to yours. You have to try this. Now, students, let me summarize the story for you to understand better. Peter's Ghost Dog is a story about a boy named Peter who often felt lonely as he did not have brothers or sisters or dogs or rabbits. All he had were toys and books. Peter asked his father for a dog as his birthday gift, but his father refused. Peter went to his room and noticed a little brown dog sitting on the corner of his bed. He was too happy to see the dog, but strangely no one else could see Sniffy except Peter. He began to spend hours playing with Sniffy. The next year, Peter began going to primary school. He started to make new friends and became busy with homework and the school clubs he had joined. One night, Peter couldn't see Sniffy in his room. He felt sorry that he had not spent more time with his best friend. Suddenly, Sniffy was beside him on the bed again. Peter apologized from him, but Sniffy explained to him that he was his friend when he needed one. Now he had to go to help other little boys and girls who felt lonely. Peter was lonely because he did not have any brother, sister, or a pet. His father told him that since there would be no one to look after the dog when they went to work, it wouldn't be fair to the pet. Peter found a small brown dog in his room when he was crying, and he called it Sniffy. Peter's friends laughed at him when he told them about Sniffy because they could not see the dog. Peter was very happy playing with Sniffy, though. Peter's mother took him to the doctor because he was spending too much time on his own for a few months. But actually, Peter was playing with Sniffy all that time. As Peter started going to the primary school, he met friends and became busy with school activities. Sniffy told him that he was his friend when Peter needed him, and now he had to go to help other little lonely children like the dog did help Peter when he was lonely.